God is saying today that I have heard the sound of your cries. Whenever you are in a difficult situation, I will never disregard you. Take a moment of calm, close your eyes, take a deep breath, and remind yourself that I am with you and that I will never leave you or forsake you in any form. This is exactly what you need to do when you are confronted with challenges and panic begins to set in. It makes no difference what the adversary has planned or who is in agreement with him and his activities. Even if people who are close to you and who are members of your family reject you and call for your destruction, it will not change any of the promises that I have made to you in your life. As a result of the fact that you did not conform to what they anticipated and asked of you, they believe that you are beyond redemption. One thing that they do not take into consideration is the fact that I am your helper during this process. It is both who I am and what I do. Consequently, you should take it easy and have faith that I am working hard, and everything will turn out fine for you. During the conflict that you are currently engaged in, the Father advises you not to keep track of the score. It makes no difference if every single individual in your life were to take a stance against you. We still have a greater number of people on our side. If you are in accord with what I have stated and refuse to believe the falsehood that Satan is persistently trying to convince you to give into, then you are in the majority. The mouths of those who voice their disapproval will be shut. As if their teeth were broken, the words of those who are ungodly will be forcefully extracted from their mouths. My Father declares that salvation is mine, and that I have the ability to do whatever I want, whenever I want, and that I have chosen to bestow my love upon you, despite the fact that men may have ideas that are opposed to this. I am working this day to will and to perform my good pleasure in your behalf, and nothing will be able to throw you off in any way. Have faith in this, and know that I am striving to accomplish both of these things. On this day, the Father declares, I have protected you from the wrath of those who are ungodly. The people in your life will always have an opinion about what you are doing wrong, and they will always have that opinion. The question you should ask yourself is not whether everyone agrees with what I have said to you. Rather, you should ask yourself why you would seek their approval in the first place. They have misunderstood the difference between fury and passion, and they have mixed wicked rage with genuine conviction. I am your defense, and I will extinguish every single one of their threats against you with the magnitude of my promises that are currently unfolding in your situation. The outcome that they have envisioned for you is a vain thing, because I am your defense. Because I have anointed you with the oil of gladness, the Father continues, you are free to laugh at whatever you please. If you want to rejoice, you should know that people who insist that you take them so seriously will be laughed at the precise minute that they set the trap that they believe they have so deftly set up to catch you. Be aware of this, whoever touches you touches the apple, which is the pupil of my eye. In that same moment, I will have an autonomic response to defend you and deliver you. According to the Father, you should not hesitate to make a request since I am waiting to hand over your adversaries to you as your inheritance. At the end of the day, those individuals who have chosen to stand in opposition to you will find themselves in the position of being witnesses to the table of bounty that I have dispersed in front of you in spite of them. This is your inheritance and your part, and I am the one who is responsible for your righteousness. Today, the Father tells you that preparations have already been made for your blessing. Because of the finished work that was done at Calvary, Every prayer that you could ever pray is now a provision in your life that is in the past tense. As you go forward in the timeline of my faithfulness, the things that you have been praying for will now become visible in your life. After you have gained an understanding of the privileges and opportunities that redemption provides for you, you will come to the realization that the answers I provide are not forthcoming. Rather, they are already here. This is a reality that results in redemption, and it is available in you right now in the glory that I dwell inside you via the power of my Spirit. Recognize this as the default state of grace that you move around in every day. Accept it and love it. It is important to disregard the tainted advice of the adversary. In the words of people who have no love for the truth, he has plans and recommendations that will continue to flow out of the depths of hell in a constant stream. If they appear, you should not remain stationary but rather immediately walk in the opposite direction. When there is an abundance of flattering words and they ask you to take your place among them, you should instantly remove yourself and locate the hidden location where I am waiting for you. When people who take pleasure in pessimism and sarcasm urge you to sit down at their table, let your spirit to recoil as if it were being struck by a serpent on the head. God says, I have so much more for you than this, because I have planted and grounded you in the depths of my refreshment. I have an abundance of other things for you. At the time when everything else has withered and dried up, you will be a tree of righteousness that is full of sap, flourishing in the things that I have called you to, and growing inexorably day by day toward your entire destiny in me. Today, the Father declares, I have made you one with me. We are not two, rather, we are a single entity. When it comes to simplicity, this is what Christ embodies. I have come into your life in order to establish my abode in your human spirit. I have descended into your life. You are as much a part of me as I am of you. As a result of this one significant fact, nothing will be able to overthrow or contradict the events that are going to take place in your life. As a result of your ascent in me, you are now elevated above all principalities and powers, regardless of whether or not you currently feel this way. Although the adversary may make threats and may even become angry, the outcome of the situation is determined by who I am. You are becoming more and more a part of me on a daily basis, and I am a part of you. Due to the fact that I cannot be lessened, you cannot be diminished either. Because I am not capable of being held hostage, you are also not capable of being held captive. Give in to it. Have faith in it. Put it in the form of your exhaustive and comprehensive anticipation. You are the recipient of many mercies that I have bestowed upon you, says God. From the depths of my fury, I have roared against your adversaries. From the depths of my rage, I have descended to deliver. This causes the hills to shake and the mountains to melt. You are granted access to the skies, and the fountains of the deep are shattered in your favor. Because I am working, you should no longer feel discouraged or hopeless. Come along with me, for I have come along with you by the power of my Spirit so that you may know and be blessed. Take into consideration everything that I have promised, and bring your words and your thoughts into agreement with what I have said. Because my promise will not lie and will not fail to come to pass as you battle with your words, in faith believing, regarding everything that I have declared over you, even on this day, you should not let yourself be talked out of what I have spoken over you. In this day and age, God instructs us to have faith in the outcome that I will bring about in your circumstances. The circumstances may appear to be out of control, yet, regardless of how things appear, your trust in me will bring about the desired outcomes. Regardless of how justified you may feel in behaving in rage or malice toward those who have injured you, it is important to remember that man's wrath never works justice. Remain patient and keep this in mind. When viewed from the perspective of man, justice is sold to the highest bidder, but I will not be bribed or deceived by the deception that occurs in the world. Despite the fact that it does not occur every Friday, payday does occur. Leave the decision-making to me, and have faith that I will, at the conclusion of this case, make a decision in your favor and see to it that your needs are satisfied and that your losses are repaid. When you are confronted with unfairness and injustice, it is your responsibility to continue to love. Resist the need to take control of the situation on your own. When you make an effort to protect yourself or to seize what you believe to be rightly yours, the books in heaven will be closed, and you will be subjected to unneeded delay until you make the decision to trust me once more. Not only is this not a war for man, but it is also not your fight. I will handle this situation. May God bless your adversary. Seek out opportunities to be of service to individuals who take advantage of you despite your best efforts. If you pay attention to my voice and obey the pull of the Holy Spirit at every stage of the process, you will emerge from the circumstance unscathed and blessed. This is because you relied on my wisdom rather than the understanding that man possesses. In this day and age, the Father instructs us to seek refuge in me, for I am your true home. Whenever you get the impression that there is no way out and issues are looming over you from every direction, I am the sturdy tower that will protect you from damage. The first thing I do in response to people who call upon my name is to show them loving kindness and mercy. There is no reason for me to withhold the very cry of your heart from you, nor am I looking for an excuse to withhold it from you. You are the spot where I make my home and the temple that I worship. My mercies will be made known to you there in the middle of you, and you will be the people who benefit from my regard and loving care. A bulwark of salvation and pillars of strength have been placed in front of you and behind you on every side. I have encircled you with these things. You are not completely unprotected. Regardless of the troubles that are occurring around you, the adversary will not be able to break through against you at his own will. You should anticipate that salvation will be yours. Put your attention on the power of my promise rather than the impending problems that appear to be insurmountable. Bring to mind Job. He was confronted with a great deal of information that he did not comprehend. The people who loved him the most advised him to curse God and to end his life. It was impossible for his friends and counselors to provide any other explanation than ideas for why they were persuaded that Job must have committed some sort of wrongdoing. What have I done wrong? Is a question that you have posed to yourself, despite the fact that I had suffered a significant loss. Job never charged me ridiculously. Are you going to make any adjustments? Enter the location where there is tranquility. The tranquility that I possess is the peace that beyond comprehension. To places that cannot be reached via comprehension, my tranquility will lead you. You do not require solutions, rather, you require deliverance, and I am the deliverer of your needs. I will make a move, and I will take action on your behalf. And when you look back on it, you will say, my God is able to accomplish everything. Today, God instructs us to do an act of war by clapping our hands over the adversary. It is on this day that I shall be revealed to you as the Most High person in your life. There will be a victory over the adversary of your soul. You are going to have the nations under your feet because I have given them to you as your heritage. The excellence of the portion that I have selected for you will be made visible, and there will be no other outcome save for their manifestation. My roar will be heard throughout the land and in the war that you are facing even today, for I am your shield and I am your strong defense in the day of battle. Just as I have gone up with a cry, so will my roar be heard in the land. Sing praises on this day, even the war anthems of my dominion, and allow them to remain on your lips. It is important to understand that I have created you to be a king and a priest in the same way that I am the king over the entire globe. Kingdoms are ruled by kings. I have provided you with rule as a component of the investment required to acquire Calvary. It is now time to begin ruling and reigning. According to the Father, you have authority over everything that the adversary has accomplished. What you say should be heard. I am your deliverer and your strong tower, even this day, says the Father. Let your words be powerful against the adversary, for he will be brought to defeat, and your eye will behold it and be joyful, for I am your deliverer and your strong tower. Here and now, God declares, I am not a distant God. I never keep a distance from you or withdraw in any way. I am always there for you. At times, you have the impression that I am not close to you because you are preoccupied with the things, people, and events that are occurring around you. If there is one thing you should keep in mind, it is that you are wherever your attention takes you. The act of magnifying me does not make me any larger, but it does remove from your attention the difficulties and worries that appear to be so significant in your life at times. Do not be uncertain. Even if I were to make time go backwards in order to soothe the king, or if I were to cause the sun to stop moving during the conflict, I would not love you any less or disregard the cry that your heart is producing. There is a strong presence of me, says the Father. When you take a breath in and out of your body, I am as close as the breath itself. Take a deep breath of my faithfulness, and exhale the mercies that I have for you. On each and every day that you are awake, they are refreshed for you. When you are in the midst of the foolish fury of pagan influences, my streams and my rivers will always flow to refresh you and to make your heart glad. Not once will I ever be late. To make myself known to you in deliverance and to declare myself to you as the God whose promise is always yes and amen, I will always be right on time, and even though it may not appear to be the case, I show up early to make myself known to you. The phrase, "the power of my throne flows through the lips of faith," is what the Father shares with us today. Through the act of speaking my word, you are bringing my spirit into the scenario, which will cause things to shift and alter in your life. When you speak in trust about everything that I have promised, your tongue is the pen of a ready writer, and the book of your days opens its pages readily to the promise of my word. Pray with your mouth alone. Make your mouth speak for itself. Your Heavenly Father encourages you to make those courageous decrees of heaven and to see that very thing establishing itself in your life so that it can mold what all of your tomorrows will look like. The word of man is meaningless, but the word that I put into your mouth is never meaningless. It will be successful in achieving the goal to which it is directed. Your mountain is listening to what you have to say. In response to the untimely and fruitless growth that has occurred in your life, which has encumbered the ground of your expectations, what are you responding to? This very day, the Father says, I am pouring grace upon your lips like an ointment at this very moment. You are going to ride prosperously on that stream of anointed pronouncement, and your right hand is going to teach you dreadful things. In those words, the adversaries of the king will be defeated by my arrows of truth, which you will release throughout the day, and by fires of righteousness, which will smolder ever awake during the nighttime seasons of prayer. The anointing that is placed upon your life is as described above. I have called you to the walls of the watchmen of my people, and this is the calling that I have given you. In your life, the scepter of my kingdom will go forth, conquering and to conquer, and you will see righteousness established as you stand upon your watch and speak out loud about my truth. In the present moment, the Father declares, I am the same yesterday, today, and at all times. It is safe for you to put your faith in my hand of delivery. In the same way that I expelled the people who lived in the area before Joshua, I am now driving the adversary out of your realm, says the Father. In the middle of the conflict, your eye will be able to witness my deliverance, and your testimony will be of my faithfulness. Because I am with you and will never abandon you or leave you, because I am with you, the encroachments that are attempting to disrupt your calm and your blessing will turn their backs and withdraw. It is not going to be your own strength or ability that will be the focus of your testimony. Rather, it will be my unmerited favor that brought fairness and justice to your land through the might that my right arm exhibited on your behalf. Those who have risen up against you will be brought down by you, says the Father, and you will crush those who have raised themselves up against you. Because of me, you will not be afraid or hesitant to make your boast because of me. What is it that man can do to you or take away from you while I am your defense and your sturdy fortress? I believe that you are purchased with a price, even the purchase price of Calvary, and that you are of much greater value than a great number of sparrows. They would sell you for something that is worthless. I am operating in your life to save and deliver you, as well as to make known my magnificence and loving kindness toward you, even on this very day. Trust in who I am in the situation, I say, since the arrows of the enemy will not find you, nor will the snare that has been put in your path capture you. In this day and age, the Father declares, I am delivering you from all deceit and inequality. You must constantly keep this in mind, says the Father, the truth will always triumph over the falsehood. You should refrain from defending yourself when you are misrepresented and when your motivations are called into question. The Father is my defender, you should say to yourself in your heart. If you decide to take matters into your own hands, I will simply withdraw and wait for you to return to the posture of trusting and waiting for the justice that only I can provide. In the meantime, pray for those who are opposed to you. Bless those who continue to mistreat you despite your best efforts. Be adamant about not becoming resentful or taking revenge in kind. I am a God who is trustworthy, and I will never abandon you to the whims of those who are not godly. I will first reveal the adversary to you, says the Father, and then I will drive him away from your borders and your bounds completely. There are things that are coming to light that will validate your trust in the way that I have handled the problem. I am working hard to protect you and to shield you from the traps that the adversary has set up in order to have you fall under their influence. Your deepest heart's desire and biggest hope are going to be accomplished as a result of this challenge, and you are going to emerge from it in a state of complete and utter integrity. This massive issue that appears to consume all of your attention will be nothing more than a little footnote in comparison to the greater fidelity that I have shown you in your life. Wait, I say, until I bring about your deliverance. There is a message from the Father that says, I am pouring out my refreshing upon you today. The sound of a considerable amount of rain can be heard. It is possible that you are only able to perceive the tiniest glimmer of hope. Nonetheless, the torrent of my favor is upon you. Take action in anticipation. Take pleasure in the anticipation. My word is true, and my promise is certain, so feel free to dance ahead of time. Do it with confidence. On the contrary, you will not be let down. No more heartbreak and no more hope that has been postponed. Right now, this very moment, this very hour, is the moment that will transform not only the planet but also your life. Now that you have run with the footmen, you will move with the horsemen and outdo all of the opposition that has come against you in an attempt to hold you back, to prevent you from receiving my finest and highest advantage. Take a firm stance on the promise. Those things that you have been given assurances about, as well as those prophetic words that have been proclaimed, will come to pass, and they will not lie. This is the greatest victory that faith has wrought in your life. When this happens, the substance of your confidence transforms into the substance of your confidence. In the same way that you have taken pleasure in me, I will come to you and I will eat with you at the table that has been set up for you in the face of those who are hostile to you. Both denial and delay are no longer acceptable. As a result of the immensity of my outpouring of favor and answered prayer, the mocker will be rendered speechless. Make use of this word in a variety of ways. My determined determination to bring you out of the fight and set your feet on the rock of my purpose, even this day, says the Father. Lay hold of the promise with your trust, and know that no power in heaven or on earth can successfully defy my resolute determination to do so. What you make happen for other people, I will make happen for you, the Father says to us today. Make it happen. Keep in mind those who are less fortunate. My name will be praised on your behalf if you give the unhappy cause to praise. By acting in this manner, you build the conviction that I will hear you in a time of crisis and relieve you from all of your distresses. As soon as the hour of crisis arrives, I will protect you and ensure that you continue to live. You will be the blessed of the earth, and in nothing will you be turned over to the will of your adversaries. While others may fall and lose all, you will be successful in whatever you do. I will strengthen you when you are lying in bed, and illness will no longer be able to destroy or hinder you in any way. There will be no more suffering for you. I consider it a personal loan when you contribute to those who are in need, says the Father, and I always pay my honest debts. Thanks for your generosity. In the same way that I loved you so much and gave you my greatest gift 2,000 years ago, I will continue to keep you in abundance and expand you day by day as you take on my character of being so loving that you give. There is no need to be afraid of what other people say about you. In spite of the fact that you have failed, I will have mercy on you. In the midst of your weakness, I will cover you and cure whatever backsliding you may have experienced. When those who are opposed to you envision nasty things to be said about you, their comments will be in vain, since they are nothing more than vanity speech. Ensure that your focus remains on me. In spite of the fact that your closest friends will turn their backs on you and spew words of betrayal, I will stand by you, and you will flourish as a result of the table that I have placed before you in the presence of your adversaries. When your adversaries discover that they are unable to achieve their objective of seeing you erased from the face of the world, you will know beyond a shadow of a doubt that my favor is upon you. Despite the fact that your human power has been completely depleted, I urge that you should have faith in my everlasting arms to support and strengthen you. I want to tell you today that whatever it is that you are struggling with is not unforgivable. It is not impossible to cleanse the deep stain that is caused by guilt and shame. Using the power of the cross, I am able to remove the deepest and most profound humiliation that you have ever experienced. Please accept the pardon that was extended to you 2,000 years ago. Be able to forgive others. Try not to glance back. Choosing to move forward in life. The cost has been borne. The fee has been paid, and the doors of your jail are completely open. Now that the chains have been removed, you are able to break free from the shackles of your previous failures and transgressions and enter a new life filled with rich blessings. The Father assures me that I am not punishing you in it. If being punished had been my goal, I would have been able to eradicate all of humanity in a single instant at any given point in time throughout history. I do not take delight in pain, despite of the profanities that are taught in my name that are antithetical to my understanding. As the embodiment of love, I am an individual. It is both who I am and what I do. If I do not treat you with love, then the words that I speak to you would be a lie. Please accept the mercy that I have for you when you are in need. Now, in the depths of my loving goodness, I have remitted all of the consequential effects. Allow yourself to be forgiven, and also forgive yourself. Whatever the source of the pointed finger may be, you should disregard it, because my love is the only thing that will influence what happens next in your life. During this time, the Father encourages you to allow patience to guide you through the process. It is the trifecta of the believer's maturity that I am working in your life to bring you into your blessing place. Love, faith, and patience are the three components that make up the believer's maturity. I am carrying you out of the state of turmoil and sadness into a position of security and assurance. I have heard your cry, and I am bringing you to this place. I am not a God of stagnation, rather, I am a loving Father who causes your feet to be rapid on the route that leads to deliverance. From this day on, your life will be distinguished by forward momentum, because I am not a God of stasis. Please be aware that I will go through the process in order to bring you to the outcome. In spite of the fact that other people have testified to instantaneous miracles, the more comprehensive narrative is the one that preceded those miracles. Despite the fact that I am not withholding anything from you, I am now working on a schedule that requires you to be patient and continue to perform well until you receive everything that you have prayed to me for. It is important to be aware that the Father has counted each and every hair on your head. You should be aware that although I am unable to add 1 cubit to your height, I am able to make you 10 feet tall and bulletproof. It is possible that the adversary will become angry and come against you with a number of threats. However, you can have faith that despite his boastful behavior, he is afraid of who you are in me. Because he is aware that I reside on the inside of you, he is aware that he has no intention of destroying you or taking your life. After stealing, killing, and destroying, he will flee with his tail between his legs because you have placed your trust in me. He comes to take, kill, and destroy. I am delighted by this, and this is the way I feel about you, my dear. Therefore, take a deep breath and have faith, because the conclusion of this matter will be accompanied by a multitude of benefits and an enormous reward.